churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
Gonna get there, yes somehow. Push my way through the crowd. I'm gonna grab you by the hand to a place we will stand. Stand proud, no fear. It's clear, I believe in you. You and me, and I believe that we can make our dream. Oh, Patrick, welcome to LB 1010 Baltimore, where information is power, but it's not power if you do nothing with it. Oh, what a glorious day. What a wonderful awakening this morning. I tell you what, I am just almost walking on cloud 9 after yesterday. It was so symbolic in so many ways, and we're going to talk about that more. But in the grocery store yesterday, when I got out of church, I was talking to people, and we all agreed how incredible it would be if the Ravens won. What would that do for the city morale? How would that make us feel as a people, not just individually our team, but as a people, the S-hole that Trump calls us, prove that we could knock off the greatest team in the history of the NFL. We could dethrone them with a little, I didn't know he was 6'4", just the most talented quarterback that I have ever seen. But we're going to talk about this a little bit more. And he's black. And I love it, Jason, because he looks scruffy. He looked like he need a haircut. He look a little rough around the edges.
I love him like that.
Oh, I love him like it too, because he's pure. He's black. He ain't no mulatto. Ain't no too much light didn't sneak in. But I found out that if you go and look at his high school tapes, that he was a phenomenon even there. So we're going to talk about
Heisman Trophy winner.
Listen, really? I didn't know he was a Heisman.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about what's the guy's name who's the general manager for the Ravens who we're going to have some callers. Dude, he had a cough that he felt like would not be good to be doing on the air. And also, I see Leo is called in on the private line. How you doing, Leo?
Well, praise the Lord.
Yes, sir.
And pass the ammunition for justice, decency, and fair play.
Yes, well, that's what we're finna do up in here. And before we do that, when I woke up this morning and I looked out the window and I saw the beautiful day. I know y'all can call me a romantic or whatever you want to call me, but I will give thanks. I will. I just do. I'm a worshiper. I believe that God is real. I don't believe he's the God of religion, but I believe in the God of great possibilities. And every day we wake up, we must realize who we love and why we love him. It's not just for what he can do for us. It's because of faith and believing that through the strength and the acknowledgement of a greater power than ourselves, that we have great possibilities. And the number one reason for those possibilities is because God is love. And when we love, we are God. We are the children. And that's what we need more of. So right now, let us all bow our heads. If you're near your phone and you're not driving or something, or you're near your radio, I'd like for you to touch the radio. Right now, as we say, oh God, we bless you for another day. Thank you for waking us up this morning. I read somebody say the other day, thank you for putting me on your call list this morning, God, and woke me up clothed in my right mind. And for each and every one of us that love you, and those that have forgotten about you that I know still love you, they know something is greater, but they just can't put their finger on it, and they're disappointed in the church, and they're disappointed in people, and there's the unforgiveness of all of us. Lord, it keeps us apart, but we're begging you, and we're praying that you would bring us together. Give us kindred hearts and kindred minds, oh God, to realize that our power lies in our unity. Our power lies in our caring for each other. Our power lies in our growth. Our power lies in our learning, oh God, because nothing that is not growing is not growing. Learning every day. So we thank you, oh God, for a curious mind. Lord, touch our children, oh God, as they go to school this morning, oh God, and the teachers that are to teach them, oh God, help them to be not just daycare workers, oh God, but let there be an open feeling of learning and wanting to know, oh God. Bless all the people that lost loved ones this weekend and this whole year from the senses, oh God. Oh Lord, touch our hearts, touch those that are doing the killing, those children, oh God. We know it's just not normal, oh God. For I believe that it is the lead poisoning in their brains and in their parents that gave them the lead, oh God, because it's in their blood, oh God, in their bone marrow. So now they're breeding it. It's being passed on to children when they're born, oh God. We ask you, oh Lord, to wake this city up, oh Lord. Get these leeches off of our backs, oh God. Get them out, knock them out, oh God. Help us to come together and see when we're being abused and used, oh God, and help us stop looking for individuals and start looking for ways to unify and come together in leadership to help and guide our people to a better day so that we might not only love each other, but that we might honor you because you are love. We thank you for this opportunity today. Every time we get to come and share with our brothers and sisters, oh God, Lord, give us strength, give us mindfulness, give us thoughtfulness, but most of all, God, give us peace. In thy Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. 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 Well, what a day. I really wanted to start out. I was waiting for a young man to call in so that we might get talking. But gentlemen, I want to start this show off talking about the symbolism of what happened yesterday. As we know, the NFL has notoriously been a white supremacist organization. How many years now, Jason, have we finally got a black quarterback? How many years did it take us in the NFL to get a black quarterback? I think the first one was the guy from the Redskins. Am I right?
No.
Who was it?
No, it wasn't. Now, that was one of the first people who were playing football, but if you look at the history, the black quarterback's been around ever since the 1960s. I just looked at the list maybe about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was Marlon Briscoe was one of the first ones in 1968.
Marlon Briscoe, you had Shaq Harris, right. You had Jefferson Street, Joe Gilliam.
He's known as the first mainstream one in the NFL.
Right.
But there was always a what is the word I want to use? A recalcitrance or stage sort of things. What was the quote they had? The black quarterbacks could not think under pressure. What was the
argument? The argument was that that black quarterbacks couldn't handle the complexities of the position, and that was the problem
for them.
Then, like I said, what we got to.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
You see, each era has had its share of black quarterbacks. You had Vince Evans in Chicago. You had hold on a second.
Okay.
The other was
the first
Joe
one to go
Gilliam,
to the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Joe Gilliam Jr. Ronald Boone. Who else?
Well, you should know that I am not a sports jock by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, neither am I.
But this information I think is relevant, and I wanted to start it off with it because I want to talk about what that game yesterday meant. And
Steve, now remember, there were white running quarterbacks in the beginning. You had Fran Tarkenton and Roger Staubach from the Vikings, and then the Cowboys.
Right.
And then that's when you begin to get your Warren Moons and your other players who then started running.
Michael Vick, and
then that's when you got
RG3,
right? Cam Newton, and now this gentleman Jackson is this era's black quarterback who has speed and agility,
and a thinker out of the box. That's what I love about him.
And you see, that's the whole thing. They've now, the game itself has changed because let's look at the players. The players have gotten bigger. The players have gotten
excellent. He's not bragging. He just delivers. He's such an. I think about all these billionaire owners, football league, whose fortunes are enhanced as a result of the more than 70% of the players who are black. You know, we don't have our own, but we're on board with them, and they're getting richer. And then the Colin Kaepernicks, thank God there are a few of them who stand up for what is right and use professional sports, or at least as a lever, to point up the needs of our communities, the things that need to be addressed in an activist and educational way in terms of reforms in our community. Well, I just think Lamar is marvelous.
I do too, but my question is, did yesterday's game change the game?
No.
It's a game. The game constantly changes. Period. Remember you had at one time in basketball, you had Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time. You had him as the preeminent one until LeBron James came along. The game changes constantly. The players change constantly, and their skill sets change constantly.
But institutional racism does not change.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Institutional racism is alive and well.
Yes,
in America,
and pervasive.
No matter what we do or what we express and show and demonstrate in terms of our skills, even our superiority to everybody else. I don't care how excellent we are. Institutional racism and the white power movement that's being promoted by this president and others continue to flourish in this country at a time when they're promoting and talking about conducting a civil war or incitement of a civil war in this country because there are white people and white men in particular who can't get their way.
I think when you have a athlete that aspires to greatness like a Michael Jordan or like in this particular circumstance with a Lamar Jackson, I think it shows that we are better than the established racism.
We always have been, but that didn't stop it from perpetuating.
But it allows us to see our greatness above that stereotyping or that.
I agree.
Correct.
I agree with you, Carlos. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. I want to get this in and get you all the callers in because we're going to move on from this. Doc, I see you. I'm coming to you next. What do you say, Carlos? Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People.
Thanks for taking my call. Let me say that Baltimore became a great display last night because of that game as they panned the city, the beautiful city lights. And they showed the inner harbor and all that stuff. although we know that there is a myriad of problems that we have, we can be proud, that we had a young man out there who is an authentic black man. Now, his history goes back where he said his mother taught him how to be a quarterback, that she threw him passes and things of that nature as he was growing up. And he has a history that is well worth putting on display for our young
and emulating, yes.
And emulating. Let me also say that prior to the black quarterbacks becoming preeminent, formerly they came out of the HBCUs, the black universities, the James Harris, the Jefferson Street, Joe Gilliam, and so forth. So they were not touted as having great talents when they came out of the HBCUs, but when they went to the big colleges and started to develop in the big colleges, then they became prominent. And let me say, you don't even need a great thinker for quarterback nowadays because all the plays are called for him by the offensive
But Carlos, but that's what I like about Lamar. And what was them brothers, Jason? Them two brothers that ruled, them two white brothers from the New York Giants and
the Mannings.
The Manning. They man, let me tell you something. The reason they were so brilliant
Eli.
to me was, sure, they knew what the coaches wanted to do and what they thought should happen, but they were on the field, which was not the situation that those coaches had written. Lamar says, oh, no, I can't do that right here. I'm going to fake right here. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that because we want to win this game. And he did it yesterday.
He has great running skills and great talent.
Yeah, but he also has a great mind.
Amen.
Quick mind. Now, remember, the Mannings came out from their father, who was Archie Manning.
Archie Manning, and he came out of Ole Miss, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. and had great resources. But again, now you had on the morning show a co-host who had denigrated and defamed, in my opinion, Baltimore, and you had those people who gave aid and comfort to an enemy. This should never happen.
I don't know who you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Butch McAdams. Butch McAdams, who called Baltimore a disgrace.
Well, but you know what? I don't want to discuss that. I don't want to. Butch is he has a right to his own thoughts, and they have their own show. But
it's like the pot. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. But anyway, go Baltimore and go Ravens.
Yes.
Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, Doc. Welcome. There's a line open, couple of lines open, you all. We got about 9 more minutes. 410-481-1010. 410-481-1010. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Is this Doc, Marvin Doc?
Yes, this is he.
How are you?
I'm great. I was a want-to-be quarterback in the late 1960s. Give you all a little bit of history. Lamar reminds me, and those who know quarterbacking as I do, will remember the first starting black quarterback in the history of the football league. His name was Marlon the Magician Briscoe. That we now have playing for Baltimore reminds me, and the reason they called him the Magician was his ability to do so many different things. He was like most quarterbacks back in the 60s and early 70s. Though he was a quarterback, got drafted as a wide receiver and a quarterback because many teams, even now, there's still some reluctance to have black quarterbacks, but you will see they evolve just like everything else in the world. They evolve and they get better. This kid, Lamar, is a new brand of a football player.
Yes,
he has the brains. He has the ability to throw and to run.
Well, but you know what, Doc?
The first starting black quarterback was Marlon the Magician.
Okay.
He got drafted by the Denver Broncos.
Well, tell me this. I'm told that Lamar reminds a lot of people of Kaepernick. And that
great deal because of not only the intelligence, but the ability to run
go with it.
Throw.
All right. I wanted to get that point across.
But then also let's look at this young guy who's at Kansas City, who's very good as well.
How do we use a Lamar Jackson's genius, the potential for black economic empowerment with regard to football and sports and ownership.
Somebody black buys or becomes a principal owner of an NFL team.
Right. Even though, from what I'm hearing, and you all can confirm or unconfirm it, that the viewership of the NFL is down.
It's been down for the past 2 to 3 years.
This is since the Kaepernick. And then someone was saying to me last night, listen to the music they're playing now. It's all hip-hop music instead of country western like they used to play. They're making some changes to try to get the black audience back into it. Am I, Jason? I see you want to say something there.
Not all the case. I was watching the Denver game yesterday, and I was listening to that song, that God Bless the USA was just screaming in the background. Right. You know, hyping the crowd up.
Well, that's Denver. Yeah. So maybe it depends on locale.
It depends on locale.
I don't think Denver is that conservative, but I think it is just conservative enough.
But you hear the emphasizing of
the culture?
Right. Well, no, of patriotism and nationalism in the NFL.
Well, I tell you, I got a post from someone this morning passing a note about this story about this little white boy who was poverty and lived in poverty and homeless, and said the cop told him, he walked up to a cop and said, what am I going to do? I need a place to live. And he told him to go to this White House and quote John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And the woman took him in and fed him and put him to bed and stuff. And so I wrote back to the guy and I said, yes, sir. I said, this is maybe true. I don't know whether it happened or not, but the problem is if a black kid would have walked up to that door and did it, he could have got shot in the face and killed, and his murderer would have got off because they said they feared for their lives. So we need to just realize, man, some of the things that we're reading the Bible ain't necessarily so, and we got to see how these people who wrote this book are treating one another. And this is the problem for a lot of people. But I'm not getting off on religion right now. Doc, what else is going on? You want to
just for clarity's sake, by the way. So it's Eric DeCosta he was the assistant general manager at the time, training under Ozzie Newsome at the time, and he actually asked Ozzie whether or not he thought Lamar was a good pick.
Wow. Okay.
And Ozzie suggested that if you can get him, go for it.
He was the first draft pick for us, wasn't he?
He was in the first round, the fifth pick in the first round.
Wow. And look at what happened to Flacco. He got injured and he's out for the season in the team that he's playing for now. So.
Now.
Oh, well, they need to stop playing that country music over these rednecks. No, I'm not saying that.
We lost somebody. Doc, you still there? I think we lost.
How you doing?
Doc?
Yeah.
Let me see. I didn't push any buttons. I think we're having some Who is this? Go ahead. Tell us who you are.
This is John.
John? Hey, Bishop?
Yep. Absolutely.
About the implications of this of what happened yesterday, and you had some interesting thoughts about it. And I don't know how much of the show you've heard so far, but what was the symbolism of what happened yesterday by dethroning the king of the field of the sport so handedly through the leadership of Lamar Jackson? What were your thoughts on that? Come quickly, sir.
Well, I believe it's because of systemic racism in different areas that has made it possible that it has taken this long for us to see a Lamar. I believe that we should have been able to see this before now.
Absolutely. We did. I remember I told you this one. We have seen it, but the powers that be were blocking it every door. Do you agree that? So we knew it.
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the fear of people liking black people. When you think about racism, you think about the ideology itself. It's more of they don't want other people to like us. So at every turn they try to blackball us and do whatever they can do to prevent other people from seeing the greatness.
That's
one reason why the country has turned to the point where they can vote for a Trump it's because they hated to see Obama be so successful. And this goes for not only in sports but all through life.
Yes, sir. The fear of racial annihilation. They're scared that they're getting ready to be replaced. Remember when they marched on Charlotte, they said Jews will not replace us? See, this is the thing. This is a fear. That's the reason they're for abortion. They don't care if black folks have abortions. In fact, Planned Parenthood said people call in when they give money and say that I don't want my money to go to kill no white babies. You can give it to the black folks and let them kill them. That is a constant thing. So we must realize that this is the ongoing threat to our survival in this nation.
You know what's interesting about the sport?
One more thing before I go, if I can.
Okay. Sure.
Because I want to get directly to the nitty gritty of what I'm saying. My brother-in-law plays. Well, he's in college now, but he played sports all his life. So he played football for this one team out in Baltimore County, and they would only let him be the offensive lineman. Even though he had nice eyes, he was quick and all, and they would only let him be the offensive lineman. So one day he got fed up and he left the team, went to another team, played his old team a week later, and had 3 sacks and 2 touchdowns. They let him play. They let him play defensive line on defense, and then on offense they let him play wide receiver. You know, and you know
his gifts are not his color. What was
white, but they forced him to play offensive lineman, although he had skill sets to be great at so many other positions.
Right. Go ahead, Jay.
I just wanted to make a correction. So he was the 32nd overall draft pick in the first round.
Lamar. Okay.
He was the 5th quarterback of that year to be selected. But what I wanted to make the statement was that when you have white quarterbacks that come up through high school and come up through college, they are developed and mentored and trained, whereas a black quarterback is made. It's kind of made on his own. You know what I mean? There's not that mentorship. There's not that extra provided guidance and training that goes into the level that you see of white quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? What's her name? Katy Perry? Is it Katy Perry? Or what's the other white girl that's selling all these millions and millions of records?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. That's a prime example. They found Taylor Swift when she was a little girl and saw she had an exceptional voice, and they have been training her, nurturing her, developing her now to become the superstar that she is. So you're absolutely right, Jason. But
white quarterbacks are developed and black quarterbacks are made.
Yes, are made, and that's why they're so great. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Don't nobody go nowhere. Don't you touch that dial. And ladies, don't get bored because we're finna go into some other stuff. But this has implications for your sons, for your children. That's why I'm doing it. I want us to see the big picture. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
And you cannot afford to lose your way.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Yes. We're back. I forgot to say hi, Jason. How you doing today? Jason is our producer and also one of our co-anchors, and I never mean to do it. I'm just so used to seeing him there that I just, y'all forgive me. Jason, please
just
forgive
chopped liver sitting over here. Good morning, family.
You the best chopped liver I ever ate.
I just want to let everybody know that we are now streaming live on both Periscope, YouTube, as well as Facebook, and you get to check Patrick Henderson out in all of his glory this morning in his beautiful cashmere scarf. I know this is your favorite time of year because you get to just showcase that cashmere collection you have.
Well, I tell you what that's one reason, but the other reason is I hate to be cold. And for believe it or not, y'all think cashmere is a lot to buy, but I'm telling you, I didn't wear nothing but a cashmere sweater and scarf, and I'm just as warm, ain't sweating or nothing, feel good. So thank God. I might have to put them in layaway to buy them, but I realize they are worth the money. Is that the Doc? Are you still there?
Hello.
I think we lost Doc there. Let's on line 2. Let's take that out and let's see who it is. We're going to go to Thomas next. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WLB 1010. We're going to close this out. Thomas, you got a question or comment? How are you?
Hey, Patrick, I got a comment.
Can I kind of sort of change the subject just a little bit?
Well, let's see how far you take us away.
All right. The person that's and Elijah Cummings' wife running for her.
Oh yeah, hold on. Now,
let's put you on hold.
Yeah, let's put you on hold because we're going to go. We're going to go into that real heavy. So I'm going to put you on hold. And let me see. We've got Marvin here on line 4. Did you lock him in? Okay. Marvin, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Pastor. First of all, how you doing this morning?
Man, I'm blessed with God. How are you?
I was just say about. I know the topic was on the football player, but I heard Leo say something that kind of wanted me to say something else. But I want to respect just for what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Know, and just say that the guy is good, and it progressed better and better and better as time goes.
Yes.
We got somebody that's good. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're absolutely right.
I did have something else I want to talk about. I guess I got to do it next time, Pastor.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to let you call back. I want to get this rolling. Thank you so much. You know what? I want y'all to see. Listen to what I just said. I know women ain't interested in this. They don't worry about stuff like this. But this is how leaders are born. Go have your children read up on Lamar's life. Have it read up, as Jason has mentioned, how his mother raised him or whoever it was that brought that up. And we got to start creating leaders. When I was the president of the student body at Baltimore City College, they said building communities. I said, how about adding to your motto, building leaders? And they said, no, that's not what we're doing. I said, then you are not important to this city. Because if we're only building followers to work for people on 9 to 5s, we're not developing our people, and that's what I felt I feel our mission should be. So, thank you, sir. Call us back here. All right. Thanks, Marvin. Let me see here. Gene, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You have a question or comment?
Yeah, I just want to chime in. A Native American, probably the prototype of Lamar, was Jim Thorpe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just want to mention Jim Thorpe and, in reference to football. But I also, Patrick, today, and hopefully you guys are going to be talking about Peter Buttigieg.
Buttigieg,
yeah, dropping out.
He what? He didn't drop out?
No. Beto O'Rourke dropped out as well.
Yeah, Beto O'Rourke. Wait a minute, Buttigieg?
Oh, that was Beto. That's right. That was Beto. I'm sorry.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, not Buttigieg. He moved up.
Yeah, he's moving up
Elizabeth
quickly.
Warren.
Yeah.
And he's also openly gay.
Yes, which has surprised me. Do you think black people will vote for him because of that?
I think black people will vote for him, but I think that the evangelical community will not vote for him.
I tell you, I don't think black people will, my friend. I tell you, you don't understand the degree of.
I don't know. Look at Chicago. Chicago voted for a black mayor.
Yeah, they sure did. You think so? Y'all
gay.
think there's hope? But Buttigieg has got a bad history in the place where he's mayor with the police and black people.
But nationally, you have to worry about, like he said, the Christian evangelical Christian right.
Yeah, but you got to understand too that if black people don't vote for you in America, you cannot win.
Yes.
That's bottom. Thank you, Gene. All right, Dr. Eugene, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
I have a comment.
Come forward, please.
On September 30th, I wrote a letter to the editor for the Baltimore Sun, and the letter spoke of this: the Baltimore Ravens. You have Lamar. You've had other great football players there. You can be great on the court. And you can be great off the court. And how you be great off the court is to honor my request, as did NBA teams across the nation, singing and or playing, lift every voice and sing, just as we sing and or play the racially bigoted national anthem by Francis Scott Key. So as we think, if you all think this is a great idea, my letter has already been sent.
Dr. Eugene, I'm gonna save you some time there. I finally got a new arrangement of that song with my kids. It's not polished and finished yet, but not only am I with you, but I'm working on this, and I promise you, I'm going to send you something. It's just a little, I call a Polaroid. It's not the final, but I want you to hear the idea that I have, and I believe with this arrangement that it will be easier to sing, and it's got more joy to it.
And let me leave with this.
Okay.
I have a new website now. Every Voice and Sing.org.
Okay.
Please view it. Lift Every Voice and Sing.org.
All right. Thank you, sir, so much. We got Bubby here. Bubby, I'm holding on for you. Well, I hope we've made our point here about what happened yesterday, the symbolism of it, that it would encourage us to realize that our children are gifted in so many ways. And if they love sports, that when I ask them what they want to be, mostly they want to be a cop and a fireman. Okay, so but we just got to realize that the blood is in their veins to be great sportsmen, because the greatest sports people that ever lived on the face of the earth were the Nubians, where people came from all over the world back in Greece in Egypt to watch them. So we have dominated this. All we have to do is to keep pushing our children forward with excellence and stop putting them down because they love things talking to them more.
Right. So one of our queens online says, Sister Irene Williams says that she's a football lover, but she doesn't watch the NFL anymore because they showed their real color with Kaepernick and how they treat black athletes. She said, and when they get black owners, she said, when they get black owners and give athletes their rights to protest and bring Cap back, she said, I will opt. Until then, I will opt out to not watch.
Well, Gary Butler Sr. says, wonder what would happen if Lamar would take a knee. Never mind.
And again, we welcome your questions and or comments online as well.
Yes, we do. Please comment, because we want to know what you're thinking. All right. Next move here. The city is on fire in many ways, and one of the things that is really bugging everybody is this fight for who's going to replace Elijah Cummings. People called me last night, I believe it was the David Brown show, and said that Stephanie Rollins Blake was on there saying that she was considering running for the seat because she was a great organizer who built great coalitions and this sort of thing. And people were calling me laughing, and I can't even repeat what they were saying about her on the radio because it would certainly get us blasted, but it wasn't very nice. And then
Patrick, do you have your anointing oil on you today? Because we need to anoint her.
Anoint her?
Anoint her as a sellout.
We need to anoint her, all right. We need to lay hands on her.
That's what I'm saying. We need to lay some hands on her.
Yeah, we do. But we also need to lay hands on a lot of these other people, these chattering nabobs of negativity here in the city. These are people who are news commentators and pundits who do not think strategically. I understand Dr. K is talking about running, and Reverend Yeager, what's his name? Yeary is talking about he's considering running, and these people certainly don't have the profile to do it. I'm wondering why we all
the
just
history
don't.
In some cases.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just wondering why we don't all come behind Kwesi Mfume, who has seniority and who would go back to the Congress with more power than an upstart. Why don't we see that? But then these are the same people who didn't understand the power of having a black governor and jealous. So this is not anything new to me.
Seems to be par for the course. Branch is also on that list, on that short list.
Yeah. Well, what do you gentlemen think about it?
Patrick, here we go.
Okay.
I'm watching this as part of something even bigger.
Okay.
Under normal situations, when you have a death of a politician, no matter who it is, a lot of times, out of deference and quote-unquote respect, the spouse of that politician normally, it's almost like automatically would be considered for
the position. To refill.
Now we are seeing a mad scramble. We're now beginning to see like the piranha chumming the waters, because now what you have not only is what you got coming out of the city, but what they're being afraid, they're definitely afraid of, is Baltimore County and Howard County getting into the mix. Because if you remember how a lot of the way that the 7th was split up years ago in order to give Dutch Rupersberger his seat in Congress, the possibility exists that if Baltimore County gets their act together, they could elect somebody from Baltimore County. Then you would have two
Wow, and no city
from
representation from the largest city in the state. That's my fear. That's the reason I think we should all get behind, cut all the crap, and let's just get behind Kwaisi, because I feel like he has the greatest potential to win. Leo, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thought is I'm a Jill Carter supporter by virtue of her integrity and forthrightness. I don't have a big problem with Kwaisi, except that I kind of think that people who served honorably, that's great, but I'm looking at new blood and people who have the basic requisite intelligence to represent us in the Congress. It's not, if you know civics and if you know how government operates and if you know the role of a congressperson at the national level, you can do the job even if you haven't held that office per se. If you're educated well enough, you can represent our interests. So at this point, I don't know much about Rockymore Cummings other than I don't think she has. I know the position she holds in the Democratic Party, but I don't know that she has a track record that I can look at that tells me what she's done for black people. And that's my Calvin Ball in Howard County, chief executive. I don't know where he stands on the agenda.
Is he on he's running?
Well, they've talked about him as a possible candidate, and I don't know where he stands on a progressive agenda that speaks to the interests of all people and African people in particular.
Is he black?
Yes, he is.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, he is.
All right.
Yeah, I don't see why we don't. So the proposal that most folks are looking at that makes sense is to have Kwaisi hold the seat for now under the special election, and then we can look at a finer look or take a finer look at candidates like Senator Jill Carter or whoever to hold the position down when the general election comes up for that position in 2020.
Well, I think that Jill Carter is worthy of a look because of Jill Carter. We got a new mayor, okay? Because she saw the corruption, called the Baltimore Sun and told them she couldn't get answers. And I think it was Luke Broadwater who got on that and exposed the book dealings that the mayor was doing. And so Jill Carter is a brilliant woman. She's very quiet sometimes, but I don't know if she has a high enough profile as she should have, considering the things that she's done and she's tried to do for the people of Baltimore. Doc, what are your thoughts?
Well, it looks like I'm with you, Patrick. It looks like I'm taking the opposite position from everybody else. I only say to us, remember the Alamo. And when I equate the Alamo, remember how Martin O'Malley got in.
Yes, sir.
We came out with all these damn names of people who are not duly qualified. We have someone that is duly qualified. We know what his voting record was when he was a congressman. These are very, very critical times. We need the best that we can get to take that House seat.
Yes, sir.
Elijah made many of us proud when he spoke, when he took over that new chairmanship and said what he was and was not going to allow this president that we have to continue doing what he's doing. Kwaisi is of the mindset. The history shows very clearly he's not going along to get along. He don't need 8 to 12 months to understand who the players are and what the hell they're doing.
Right.
We're about to make a big mistake.
Yes.
This is a very critical position.
Yes.
We need someone that has the track history, that has done it. Kwaisi, from my vantage point, should take this interim period and take at least 2 years, and then by then we can basically let those folks fight it out and determine who should succeed him. We need someone in there duly qualified. We don't need nobody in there for the next 8 months is trying to learn the damn job.
That's right, because they ain't got enough time.
And can't find the bathroom.
Oh, come on, let's start.
Nobody's name that you could name
has had any experience other than Quasi.
Yeah,
we know what we're getting in Quasi.
Yes.
We know what we're getting.
Well,
and he knows where the bathroom is.
But my biggest fear is that if we lose this seat to a non-black person, we will never get it back because we won't vote to like we should to make sure that it's not realizing the power of having someone from the city who represents us in such a powerful.
It's going to happen right now. That's why I said. That's why I'm terrified of the whole thing with Baltimore County and Howard County.
Right, Richard.
Please take Stephanie Rawlins Blake off the list.
Please
take her off.
I think she's
had a terrible.
Yeah. I don't think she deserves dog catcher for Baltimore City or for the state of Maryland.
Repeatedly to the developers and big business, she's not working in the interest of the poor or the middle class. She's working in the interest of Stephanie Rawlins Blake.
Yes, as she always has.
Selfishly.
Yes. Bubby, what are your thoughts on this? Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People.
I must say I agree with the proponents of your panel there.
Thank you.
I would have to support Kwesi Mfume because of my love for the 7th District in Zone 17. Let's be careful. We don't have, or we do not have, any time to waste by training someone to go there, and still we are asking the question, where is the breakdown of the money that was allocated to the 7th congressional district? Where did the money go, and what proportion came to Sandtown, Winchester, and Zone 17? And when you mentioned Stephanie Rawlins Blake, I cringe. There was the lady that refused to fire Paul T. Graziano. She even came on the news and said he is doing a great job.
Yes, she did.
When I see her on CNN, I think we should boycott CNN every time she come on there. And you show me what she have done for the African American people in this city. So let's be perfectly clear.
Yes,
we don't have time to play around with someone like Nick Mosby, who learning to tie their shoes, or Stephanie Rawlins Blake in this critical position that we need to bring funding back to Baltimore City, where we can deal with some of the systemic racial issues and the infrastructure issues that we have here.
I agree 100%, Bubby. We had some other things. Let's come to Lock and Bubby, because I want to talk to him too, while I want to go in and I want to talk to some of these other callers. I believe we've got Ernest. Ernest, what are your thoughts? Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, remember that March 9th, 1989, around 89, Lee Atwater, who was a Republican racist, was at Howard University. The students booed Lee Atwater. Howard University president threatens to arrest student protesters. Kwesi Mfume took up for Lee Atwater and told the students to get rid of that black, red, and green flag. That's documented.
Please send that to me. I don't understand.
You can't send it to you because it didn't happen.
You can go
it did.
Atwater.
Lee Atwater was probably one of the most vile people on the face of the earth. If y'all remember, he worked for George W. Bush and put forth that. What was the name of that black prisoner? Put his what? I can't remember his name, but anyway. But I, you know what? It's interesting that you would bring that up. But I tell you what, I don't consider it relevant at this point. Thank you, sir. Theodore, welcome to comment. Horton, thank you.
If you also look up his name, time has changed. We can't use Lee Atwater.
Yes, sir.
Look at it. It's all star cast. Miss Jealousy about it. Quite easy. You got the former mayor. You got Elijah Cummings, and I think there's going to maybe a sentimental vote for Miss Cummings because, you know, in several instances like Miss Dingle, the white takes over for the It's going to be tough, but I think a black person will get in there, but he won't have a lot of seniority. But on the other hand, with Mr. Kwaisi Mfume, it's the experience about it
that we need at this point.
Will he speak out?
Yes.
And I'd like people to realize, too, if they can, that the person in the White House, he may not get removed by the Senate, but he is a danger. And anybody, any of you all who have people who are in the service or considering in the service, please emphasize them. And when you're on the radio, this man, he put us all in danger when he gave out classified information twice when they got this guy.
Oh, absolutely.
And also in the Oval Office when Kislyak, the Russian foreign minister, and Lavrov, the ambassador, were in the Oval Office. He gave a classified information, and they put you all in danger. Let people know, if you got relatives in the service, that he can't be trusted. And let people know also he was recently stopped from making immigrants show that they had health care before they came to this country. When, as you know, his wife's parents got here, and they were not required to have any health care.
Right. She lied and said she came on a Genius grant. She's supposed to be a genius. But thank you so much for your commentary there. Let's see here. Mark, who's Mark? How are you?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh, listen, man, I got your card. Keep the peace. Good. Stop the beef. Stop the killing. We can stop the killing. We must stop the killing. The killing must stop hotline. No police involvement or confidential. Call the hotline at 443-743-4888. And I'm going to give that number again. Thank you for this effort. Mark Cannon, we honor you, man, because this is what it is. How do we stop the beefing? I was thinking about it this morning before I got this. And I thought about what would happen if we did billboards all over the city and a kid standing over somebody they had just shot with a caption saying something like, it was too young, just too early for his life to live, and it was too early for you to end yours. Something impactful, but I'm with you 100% on this. Did you have another question or comment?
Oh, yes, sir. I agree with y'all 100%, man. I think Mr. Mfume would be the best thing for what we got. More around 45 in there, you know, and all of his minions, you know. So we need somebody like him that has 10 years experience that could immediately come and make an impact. And guys, I'm thinking that Mr. Cummings' wife might get behind him. And, you know, that would be great for our city. Well, and one more thing, Patrick. You know, Leo, thank you, man, for almost 40 years of being the head of Roots of Scouting.
Yes.
And, Patrick, we can have different opinions, but we can't have different facts.
Amen.
After Leo talked earlier, and then the guy come on that don't never have no solutions and was slandering his name, Deputy Sheriff called in and put his...
Are you talking about on Larry Young's show this morning? He's speaking
opinions, but we can't have different facts.
Yeah, exactly. No, I heard about that. That's a legendary call today that certainly put feathers in Leo's cap. But, you know, so I highly recommend every morning I get up, I try to turn on Larry and listen because I know I'm always going to get 4 hours of hearing information. And Leo is a regular caller, and he certainly was validated today about the Sheriff's Department.
Absolutely, man. Y'all take care.
All right, thank you.
I'll see you Sunday, man. Umar Box and Marvin, 5 o'clock. Going to be my guest.
All right. We look forward.
Y'all take care.
You too. Here, I'm going to go to because I have some particular questions for him. Thomas, are you there?
Hey, Pastor, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm glad you called back. I wanted to bring up the facts as we're being told them or being exposed to them. Many people are speaking that Rockamore Cummings, Elijah Cummings' widow, should actually take his seat because of Debbie Dingell. I think it's Dingell, the people in Michigan, when her father died, who was a great civil rights man. His wife took his seat. I don't know which one of them Dingells it was. And so the precedent has been set for the wife to take it over. But you sent me a letter or an article in the Federalist paper, which is an arch conservative paper. That is right wing, can be considered right wing, but I believe this was started by Alexander Hamilton, the Federalist, and this is their paper where they print ideals and stuff, and sometimes conspiracies. But in this article, it stated that Rockamore Cummings was under investigation for bribery of people, of senators and people who came to do business with them through her lobbying firm that was giving money directly to Elijah Cummings. And some people got upset with me. In fact, one of my anchors got upset, said that's not true. But then, Richard, you went and you verified it after I mentioned it to you that they were saying the same thing on WBAL.
And not only that, there was an article dated May 20th, 2019 that was printed in the Washington Examiner.
Wow, which is another considered right-wing paper. But wonder why we're not hearing anything about this in the local press.
Because you won't.
Well, is that because they're just observing his death and giving some time? Why is it then?
All media has their own slants and their own biases. Mm-hmm. And therefore, there are some that are ultra liberal, and there's some that are ultra progressive. Mm-hmm. And therefore, they're going to look at certain news stories and say, do we want to put this out or do we not want to put this out?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But then I'm now looking at this now. I'm seeing this in the light of, with all of these people that are now running for that seat. Mm-hmm. And remember, I said that normally there is a deference to the spouse of the deceased politician. Mm-hmm. For there to be these many people who are going to be running for this particular seat, mm-hmm. my question suddenly becomes, what do they know that we don't know?
Oh,
let me at least interject this, that what we are making a generalization on, the way that the replacement takes place for Congress is not someone appointing or elevating a family member.
Right, this
person has to run.
Oh, is that state law?
To fill the seat of the congressman, you don't get touched on the shoulder and say, okay, you're going to take over the unexpired term. No, you got to run for the position.
Ah, that's the major difference. Yes, Thomas?
I want to ask a question.
Uh-huh.
I'm not lying about anything.
Now, come off your speakerphone. We can't hear you. We need better quality from you. Okay. Can you do that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
You guys hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Did I lie?
No, you didn't lie. You didn't lie. Some people take...
only said to you what the paper was reporting, right?
Right.
And listen to this, guys. I find it mighty funny that what they're harping on now, we're not harping on. People are asking for paperwork of donations that they made to her for Elijah, that she's refusing to give them the paperwork.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And she also closed up her company. Right after this year, she did it for the Congressional Black Caucus. Right after that, she closed up her company. I found it strange a couple of weeks before Elijah went into her ship.
No, interesting.
Well, what's interesting is this morning in the Baltimore Sun, mm-hmm. they actually are talking about Ifume expecting to announce for Cummings' seat, but they're saying that he comes with baggage.
Oh, really?
And they're saying that there, was supposed to have been 2 internal investigations in relations to the NAACP. One of allegations of nepotism and sexual harassment,
which was hiring friends and family,
and sexual harassment at the organization's headquarters.
Do you think that would be a hindrance to him stepping into it?
No, because those of us with the NAACP will say none of that was brought to the attention of the board for the board to make a decision. A decision was never even rendered because substantial information never came forth. Folks are going to pull us down as much as they can.
Well, they're saying
that we can.
Right, they're saying that among the allegations, Michelle Speaks, a former manager who complained to the NAACP's board, launched one investigation, alleged that after rebuffing an advance by Mfume that she was passed over for raises and promotions. The NAACP, according to this, paid her about $100,000 from its treasury to avoid a lawsuit and other legal actions by Ms. Speaks.
That's old news. That's very
Correct.
old news.
Right.
May I add something, gentlemen, to this discussion?
Quickly, yes.
My question.
Hold on. Thomas, go ahead, Richard.
My question suddenly is this the beginning of, I'm wondering who's launching all of this to keep Mfume away from that seat, and why?
And Dr. Rocky Moore Cummings.
This sounds like Martin O'Malley's doing, guys. We all know Martin O'Malley's got his hands in politics.
That's what I said. Just when you don't see him, that's when he's the most dangerous.
That's when he's the most dangerous. Remember, guys, it's the guy that's running now, T.J. Smith, right?
Hold on, because we're going into that next. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WLB Baltimore. We promised you to do all of these topics today, and we're going to talk about them, and we want your involvement. 410-481-1010. We got an open line. Don't you touch that dial.
This is not a time to lose your focus.
Talking the day, soul at night on the new 1010 WOLB.
New month, same problem. Not enough money to pay that mortgage bill? If you're behind on your mortgage, you may have a new problem this month. Foreclosure. Get a fresh start now. Call Jeff Cerroti to stop foreclosure at 410-999-8000. Set up a free in-office consultation with Jeff Cerroti to get your fresh start. Cerroti and Associates are the bankruptcy specialists. They've been helping Marylanders stop foreclosure and get out from under their mounting bills for over 25 years. New month, time to solve your problem. Call Cerroti and Associates at 410-999-8000 to set up a free in-office consultation. You'll sit down with Jeff Cerroti to discuss your situation. No obligation. But if you do proceed, mention WOLB for a special discount. Call today, 410-999-8000 or freshstartlaw.com to get your financial fresh start and stop foreclosure with the bankruptcy specialist, Cerroti and Associates. Convenient to the Beltway with free parking. Call Cerroti and Associates today at 410-999-8000. We are a debt relief agency helping people file bankruptcy under the Bankruptcy Code.
I'm Reverend Al Sharpton. The annual enrollment deadline for Medicare is coming soon. I have a special guest here today to explain it all. From Health Markets, a national organization that helps folks find the right Medicare coverage. Welcome, Mike.
Rates are going down this year according to government analysis, and that's why Health Markets invented the FIT score. It helps consumers instantly compare their plan to thousands of others from national insurance companies to quickly see how they can maximize their benefits and save money. There are plans with $0 copays, $0 deductibles, and $0 premiums. Plans that include dental and vision coverage, plans with hearing aids, diabetic supplies, and gym membership benefits, all at no additional cost. Listeners need to really act now to make sure they get the right plan, they get the right benefits, and the savings they deserve.
Go to healthmarkets.com or call 800-519-5860. That's 800-519-5860. 800-519-5860.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to help you stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important that you act now while you still have options. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima gets results. Having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for clients, for tax help you need, for tax help you can trust. Call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-799-0977. That's 800-799-0977. 800-799-0977.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Oh, yes, done unto you as you believe. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Welcome back to you. We're going to go to line 2 with D. D, do you have a question or comment?
Oh, yeah, that was
definitely on WBAL about that investigation with Elijah Cummings' wife.
Yes, sir.
And that was just right after the Holly Hanson's book scan, whatever that thing was.
Oh, wow.
Healthy Holly.
Healthy Holly.
Yeah, that was they was definitely talking about Elijah Cummings' wife with some type of investigation. And if I ain't mistaken, they probably still investigating it right now as we speak.
Well, I think they're being real quiet about it, but I don't know who was it said that she closed. I think it was Thomas, who's talked about she had closed all her offices. We lost you, Thomas. I hope you can call back. She closed all her offices and stuff. But remember when he was having a problem and she told all those people that went against him that did not to come to her because she's chair of the DNC or something, the state party. Am I right about? Can anybody help me out here?
No, that was the Adrian Jones issue.
It was the what? You went out. It was the what issue?
The Adrian Jones issue.
Oh, okay.
And when they were trying to select the speaker, she was saying, look, if you all don't do what I want you all to do, you can forget about funding.
Wow.
Patrick?
Yes, Richard. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Leo.
Just quickly, let me say, Kwaisi is not under any indictment. He's not a wanted fugitive. He is obviously qualified for the office. We've got to stop being distracted by the effort to dig up dirt on people. We all fall short of the glory of God. None of us have perfect records. Kwaisi is highly qualified, and given the fact that he's highly qualified
and experienced,
he should be highly considered.
Yes, sir.
Let's stop being tricked.
Right.
Into dealing with sexual promiscuity. Sex is always utilized in this society as some kind of barometer on persons, on the credibility of people who are credible people.
Unfortunately, Leo, that is the nature of politics today.
Correct. And that's what we were talking about off air. We were just talking about that, the timing is just not coincidental.
No, it's not.
Not by any means.
One additional point.
But also, you got to look at
one additional.
Hold on, I'm going to get you in, Doc. Go ahead, Thomas. Talk, I can't hear you.
Look at the sources this is coming from, guys. Mainly from Fox 45, okay? Fox 45 is supporting T.J. Smith and this guy, Sergio Veraraca, okay?
You're talking about
for mayor.
Right.
And Vigna.
Right.
Yeah, him. Guess who the special advisors is?
Yes, check this out. Go ahead.
Convicted felon Ed Norris
is advising TJ. How many of y'all knew that? That's a breaking news story here on Patrick Henderson's Meet People. One of TJ, what's his name? Smith. His advisor is Ed Norris.
The crook. Ed Norris, the crook.
A proven and convicted felon. So, what does that say? Because let me say that before you say this. That was one of my fears about him because he worked for the police department. That they probably got dirt on TJ that they can blackmail him with. So he's going to always show some sort of allegiance to them. That's why. And everybody's saying no. His brother was killed and he's got a bone to pick too. But at the same time, when I heard that Norris was advising him, then my skepticism grew even deeper.
Ed Norris with all of his mistresses.
Yes.
On the public dole, taking money for all of his escapades in hotels while he was police commissioner.
But wait a minute, before we go any further, hold up, Thomas. I wanted to talk to Doc quick.
Yeah, Doc had a...
Doc, you said that you were a member of the NAACP and none of that was ever proved. What about that lawsuit where they settled with that lady? Was that true or did that happen?
My understanding that a settlement was offered and given, but I do know this: Kwaisi was not asked to step down. Kwaisi was not charged with anything. He goes down as one of the best presidents that we've had. And I want to say this to folks as well. If you know why there are 4 HBCUs and one is not catching the flack that the other ones are,
come on.
Do we know who the chair of the board for Morgan is? Yeah. That is Kwaisi. Has been basically through the great leadership of Dr. Earl Richardson. Morgan is in great stead. said, because of the leadership of Kwesi and Fume. I ask folks, let's look at a T.J. Smith. Let's look at a Talmadge Branch. Let's look at a Stephanie Rollins Blake and say, how come we haven't heard a damn thing about HBCUs from any of them?
Well, Talmadge Branch is bought and paid for, guys, by Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Yes, he is.
He sits on the board over at Johns Hopkins. The board for the community development group. He sits on their board.
We lost somebody.
He deserves our support. He deserves to take that seat. He is qualified, experienced, doesn't need anyone to train him. He goes right in, and we can move on. We can go to the mayor's election. Let's not make two elections go against each other. Kwesi should be given a seat, and let's battle over who needs to be the next mayor.
I agree with you 100%.
Dr. Peter, Mr. Thomas, can I ask you a question, big brother? Are you aware of Ann Emery re-entering the race now?
You mean Elizabeth Emery?
Elizabeth Emery.
And that's why I'm telling folks we got to be careful. We got to be careful of this Alamo because we keep battling against each other. Then you're going to find a white Martin O'Malley and a female this time comes up to become the mayor.
Well,
we're
Doc,
fighting against each other.
Right, Doc. I don't look at it as we're battling each other. We're being slandered within the press, the mainstream press,
to distract us.
Right, to distract us.
Have y'all ever heard WBAL say anything about HBCUs in the 16 years we've been dealing with this case?
No.
It's no accident that they pick and choose what they go with and what they don't go with.
But listen, this Emery chick, she ran for mayor to begin with. She lost. Then she went over to Prince George County, where Rashad Baker ran as his lieutenant governor. She lost. Now she wants to slither her way back into Baltimore again. Her and her father, Bob Emery. No, they run the Able Foundation, guys. And who wants Jack Young's staff?
But you got to remember, Brandon Scott ran for lieutenant governor as well.
I beg pardon?
What does that have to do with it? I don't understand, Richard.
I said Brandon Scott also ran for lieutenant governor as well, just like Embry did.
So?
She sure did. But what I'm getting at, too, guys, Brandon doesn't have Emery's money from her father, Bob Emery, okay?
Bob Emery, yeah.
Who runs the Able Foundation. That young spokesperson, what I call her a deputy mayor, and that's Cheryl Bernstein, worked for the Able Foundation.
Who is the wife of?
Of Greg Bernstein, former state attorney.
So the fix is in.
It's not by coincidence, guys, that this same old trash is being recycled through Baltimore again. They're getting ready to whitewash Baltimore. If we don't watch it, that's what's going to happen.
A very interesting perspective, gentlemen. What do you all think about the fact that here we are and not one mayoral candidate is standing out as a standout? I was told this morning, Richard, you went checks with some of the polling.
I've been called twice within the past 24 hours. And there are 5 names that the pollsters are asking about.
And those names are?
Jack Young, Brandon Scott, Thuru Vignaraja, T.J. Smith, and Sheila Dixon. No Ricky. No Ricky Vaughn. Now, in one they did mention Elizabeth Embry.
Just in one. That was out of 3 polls?
Yeah.
Interesting. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
I think Sheila Dixon should just go and run for city council president before she comes back as mayor myself. That's what I think. Ann Emery. Where does she actually live at?
No, you talking about Dr. Ann Emery. Don't besmirch her name. No.
Emery.
I know. What's her name?
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Emery. Where does she live at? Does she live in Prince George County? Does she live in Baltimore County? Or does she live in Baltimore City? We can ask the same thing about T.J. Smith. Where does he actually live at? Does he live in Anne Arundel County, Baltimore City, or Baltimore County? Roger, where does he live at? Last I was told, he lived in Bethesda.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, they have to have a registered address here, so Tharu has a registered address here.
But even though he doesn't live there,
I mean,
so okay.
I mean, Donald Schaefer had a registered address on 504 Edgewood Street. He didn't live there.
So it's
I'm committed to Mike Jensen Sr. as a longtime resident of Baltimore City and retired firefighter and chaplain of the International Black Firefighters Association, a black businessman.
He's running for mayor?
He's running for mayor, Mike Jensen Sr. I'm committed to him as his campaign manager. If Mike Jensen were not there, I would be supporting Sheila Dixon.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, I'm talking about people who are Baltimoreans, died in the wool Baltimoreans who committed to our city and devoted compassionately to bring change in this city.
Well, that brings up another question that we've been talking about. I've been sharing. Is Baltimore's proclivity or knack for not liking outsiders, the xenophobia, does that serve us well, Leo? Is it time that we found people who come in with fresh ideas, who've lived outside of here, who can bring those ideas? Like there's this wonderful young mayor in Oakland, California, who's giving out $700 a month to people below a certain poverty line, and it's changing that whole city because people can meet bare minimums of things. They can pay their utilities, they can eat, and then they can get a job because they don't have to worry about the bare necessities of life. There is nobody that's running for mayor that has even mentioned an idea like that. None of them have any ideas, any vision. The last format we had where they all came together on Larry's show, which I'm very thankful he did, so we could see that none of them have a clue.
Well, I'm committed to someone who is, I believe, qualified, held public office. We're able to the fact that they have not worked effective young in that Ritz-Carlton Hotel or the incompetencies that come with long tenured service and not delivering the goods to the people of this city.
Well, you're talking in particular that Ritz-Carlton thing is that they haven't paid, have not paid a water bill in 2 years. In 10 years.
10 years, $2.3 million, and then we've got other commercial customers who owe cumulatively maybe $10 more million floating around because they were programming and promoting development in this city. We need a grand jury investigation.
Now, I agree with you 100%.
Somebody to go to jail.
But this is leeches. These are the leeches I'm talking about that we keep voting these people into office to sustain. This is nothing new, gentlemen. All right, I'm going to keep going. Absolutely. We got Aaron here. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead. I can barely hear you, Thomas.
You want to go and take Miss Minnie's house for a $300 water bill?
Take it.
What is going to happen to the $500 million that they give Kevin Plank, who Under Armour is now
under investigation by the Department of Justice? It's a good question.
And that was led by the mayor, Jack Young.
Oh, okay.
He was a great proponent of Kevin Plank and Port Covington. Mr. Ripoff himself.
It was not only Jack Young. It was Stephanie Wilder.
Yes.
Brandon Scott.
Aaron, welcome to
Scott.
Yes, well, Aaron, welcome to Patrick and this is Meet the People. We've only got 10 more minutes, so 30 seconds. Come with it.
You can take it to the top now.
Sure. Okay, go ahead.
I can't hear him.
Let me see, Aaron. I thought.
I'll drop off, guys.
Okay. Aaron, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, you're online. You're on air. You have a question or comment?
No, my name is Marvin.
Okay. All right, Marvin, go ahead.
What I want to say is that whoever executive that we put in that chair, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be something with somebody else select. Our people are not going to be able to get who we want in there. So this is what I suggest. And we're the ones who want somebody in there. We should be the same ones who make standards for who get in there.
I agree.
You may not have to necessarily have who you want in there, but you got the last say call over what happens if you come together. You see what I'm saying? And portray what you want. And one other thing I want to say is some of the things that can learn us some techniques, some real serious techniques about what we're into, what we're going through, and what we need to know. And let me tell you who that is, who can help us.
Cool.
And I guarantee you'll get some help, and all it takes is for 5 minutes. You to go online and listen to Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Your mind will be set free. You understand what I say? Your mind will be set free. And you know something? His big obligation of what he want to do for the black people, not necessarily saying that the man want to do black people against white people. No. But Mr. Farrakhan want to do the black man how to take that dollar and become as one in the black community, black support blacks. Therefore, your executive that you asked it for,
I can't find it.
If you have them on your side of the cabinet.
Well, sir, that's your opinion, but we've all been around here a long time, and we're still waiting. We're still waiting. People have had years and years to do things that they haven't done. We've hoped they had, and we tried to support them. But I agree with you 100%. We should have an agenda, a platform that these politicians need to agree to. I agree with you. We've been trying, but I tell you, I've gone to meetings with 30, 40 important, experienced, and businessmen. And I've had the leaders of those organizations tell me we're not discussing that here. There is this the DNA, I believe, from crabs. And the bucket syndrome, as I call it, the revenge of the crabs, pulling each other down, not realizing when we should move together and how our unification would make that happen. But I thank you for your thought there. Okay, let's see here, guys. We got a few more minutes. What do you all think? Now, I know everybody's got their allegiances, but does anybody stand out to you? I know that the people that have been here before, I know Sheila Dixon has some thoughts here. And I hear that she got 30,000 votes the last time. Is that true?
She got a whole lot of write-in votes, yes.
A lot of write-in votes. So do you think that she really stands a chance? But she's not running. Everybody says she shouldn't run for mayor. She should go back and go run for the president of the city council to reestablish her credibility. And what do y'all think of that?
I wouldn't have an argument against it.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
But right now, Patrick, I hate to say this. Mm-hmm. In the midst of all of this election coming our way, what's really we got to really be concerned with is the fact that the city council and the General Assembly are about to turn the residents of the city of Baltimore into gigantic ATM machines.
From taxes?
From a lot of programs that they're now trying to put in place, but they don't know how to fund.
Well, does it not amaze you that they have not enacted recreational marijuana? They have plenty of ways that they could make this money. We were going to talk today about the commuter tax that would do so much for our education and even for our taxes on our property. Right. But nobody's talking about these things because we are being suckled by leeches from the state down to the local administrative governments. We are just animals for them to come and suck on us and leech us to death, and it needs to stop.
There is something that can be done. It's just
hello.
Hold on, Raheem. Go ahead.
Hold on, brother Raheem. There is something that can be done if we invested in the neighborhoods and redevelop these dilapidated houses,
but they won't
encourage folks to move back into the city.
They won't do it. They won't,
because it's the property taxes that pays into the city coffers.
But they won't do that because they're reserving them so they can build them up to a degree that black people can't afford to live in them anymore. Right. Let's call it what it is. Raheem, you got a question or comment? Welcome,
brother Raheem. You talking to me?
Raheem.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Pat?
All right, I'm doing well. How are you?
We have to understand.
Come off your speakerphone, brother. We can't hear you.
Hey, Pat, you talking to me?
No, I'm talking.
No, brother Raheem.
Raheem.
Okay. You say you can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you. If you're on a speakerphone?
No, I'm not on speakerphone.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I pushed you up. Go ahead. Say what you got to say there. Sir, thank you.
All right, listen. We got to understand Baltimore City got the strongest form of the mayor office than most cities, simply because of the board of estimate.
And the city charter. which sustains it. Yes, sir. You're right. I agree. So that means we're subjected to their whims, their power, or their egos instead of their brilliance. Am I right? Was that your thought, Raheem? What are you saying? Raheem? Oh, okay. I guess he hung up.
And the second part is this. To win the mayor office in Baltimore, you need $1.5 million. They got 2 machines in Baltimore. And as long as these machines...
What kind of machines?
...are connected with the people that's going to...
Political machines.
Okay.
We will never get the person that we want in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. There are some strings.
And my estimates is going to be about $2 million now.
People don't understand this.
Right.
They run up with all these fancy ideas about this. This thing is about money. We are
always
a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And long as they get together with these machines, like you said, O'Malley in the background, I've been expunging people's records for 10 years as a result of what O'Malley did to black poor folks.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying, until you address...
You going in and out. Until you address it, I agree with you. Thank you. I'm going to drop your Raheem. I don't know why.
And according to my estimates, we're looking at more closer than over $2 million in order to win the mayoral seat.
Good morning, Pat.
Yes, good morning.
Yes. Pat, I don't agree with legalizing marijuana. I'll tell you why. I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'm an ex-drug addict, and I'm an ex-marijuana smoker. And I know that when I see these children going to Douglas and these different high schools, rolling a joint on the way, rolling a joint during lunchtime, and rolling a joint when they're leaving, I just don't understand how they're going to even be able to comprehend anything being high. And when they do get to put it to the point where they're pushed out of school because they don't really graduate, they get pushed out. And when they do get pushed out and start looking for jobs, they're not going to be qualified. This morning on the Larry Young Morning Show, I heard an advertisement from Amazon for hiring.
$19 an hour.
Background checks. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no background checks. No, $16 an hour. And they're still on the corner. I mean, these are what we're going to see when these next generation graduates from school. All these kids, I'm not saying all of them, but it's enough of them that they're going to be, zombies. And it's not going to help our community. But anyway, thanks for your time, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, we only got 1 minute, but I want to say that I disagree with him about the marijuana. My mother lived another 6 months because I made a marijuana tea because she had cancer and she was wasting away. So it has purposes. The reason these young people are standing on the corner and don't want jobs is mostly because they can't read. And when they do go work for Amazon, they get a 2-week paycheck and they don't come back. That's the history. So they're paying more money at Amazon. There's a need for workers.
The turnover rate is high at Amazon.
Absolutely ridiculous, which is why they didn't bring their headquarters here, because the workforce wasn't there. You've been listening, gentlemen. Now, what a great show. Thank you, Leo Burrows.
Amen.
Thank you, Richard Terry. Thank you, Marvin Doc Cheatham. Thank all of you, Jason. Thank you, and to all of you who listened in. Share the tape if you're on Facebook. Share it and let people know, man, we're not giving up. We're not outnumbered. We're just out organized. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010. Please join us next Sunday at 3:30 on Spirit 1400. At 3:30 and every Monday here at 11:30 on WOLB Baltimore. God bless you all. And remember, anything that is not growing is dying. Be blessed. Have a great week.
Your destiny is too important to give up for anything.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
Last dozen years, so from Frederick Douglass to Dr. King, Fannie Lou to Rosa Parks to Barack Obama, I think they deserve that and more. We didn't get here by ourselves. People pay the price.
Respecting our past, paving the way to the future is America's civil rights leader.